Welcome to How Do They Afford That, the podcast that peeks into the financial lives of everyday Australians. I'm Michael Thompson. I'm a writer and a co-host of the podcast Fear and Greed Business News. And as always, I'm joined by Canna Campbell, financial planner, founder of Sugar Mama TV, the financial literacy platform that covers podcasts like this one, obviously, YouTube and books and Instagram and Threads and TikTok and what. You see, I'm actually putting the word "and" in between each one of those just to make it sound even more impressive, because you are literally everywhere.
I am going far and wide to help everyday Australians make better decisions with their money and feel excited about their financial future.
It's a very noble calling, isn't it?
I just love it. I know that sounds cheesy, but here I am.
You're very, very passionate about this. Look, I want to jump right into this episode today because I know that it is actually one that you and I have both been looking forward to. We are always, and that's not an exaggeration, we are always on the lookout for ways to make the household budget go further. There's no easy way to do it, except when there is an easy way to do it. And Canna, you have been talking about this for such a long time now, haven't you?
I feel like I'm a little bit of an expert in this field.
Yeah, we are talking about cash rewards. You've been talking about cash rewards many, many, many times on the show, just casually dropping it into conversation.
It's so funny because when you emailed me and then I called you to ask about cash rewards, I had literally just put my request for my transfer from my cash rewards account to my bank account, and I was collecting $263 and I still have a pending $86. So I follow my advice. Like, I used cash rewards and it is contributed towards my $275,000 share portfolio. Thank you.
You are going off very, very early here.
I told you
You're very excited about cash rewards. So cash rewards is essentially a platform that gives you cash back for the money that you spend at a whole bunch of different retailers and a whole bunch of different things. Really, we're talking about groceries and clothes and electronics, heaps of stuff. It is pretty amazing. It's very exciting. And we are joined in studio by a special guest today to explain how it all works and really how on earth you just keep on making more money out of this thing and just keep on talking about it, because it is pretty remarkable. Anthony Seymour Walsh is the CEO of Cash Rewards, which is a supporter of this podcast. Anthony, welcome to How Do They Afford That?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And it's always great to hear member stories and hear new ways that our members are saving money. So well done to you, Canna.
It is so satisfying. And as soon as I saw Michael's email, I literally jumped on the phone to tell him, you wouldn't believe it, but I literally am cashing out my cash rewards.
Well, maybe that's a good place to start. Kind of, you have been using cash rewards, Canna, for a long time.
Yes.
So what kind of drew you to it? Kind of what's your experience with the platform?
It's fantastic. It's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you go clip your ticket? There's no extra physical work involved other than shopping through Cash Rewards' website before you go to your main retailer's website. But, passion is just about to explode here. But
Anthony,
there are so many opportunities to save even more money as well as earn money back. Like, it's just so simple. It's genius.
Yeah. And look, I'm a more recent convert to it. And it wasn't even me that kind of, Anthony, the context here is that Canna will often encourage me to do things, whether it's kind of check up on my super or kind of check in on my home loan and refinance, all this kind of stuff, or just talk to a mortgage broker, and she'll just keep encouraging me to do things, and I don't do them, despite it being kind of logical. And unfortunately, on this particular occasion, even though she'd been saying, hey, try cash rewards, I'm like, I still hadn't done it. My wife did, though. She was listening and she signed up for cash rewards, and then she goes, the other day we booked a weekend away using Camplify, you know, the platform where you kind of get on there and you can kind of rent a caravan kind of thing and you can tow it there yourself. And so we booked a little kind of a long weekend away for later in the year, and she calls me very excited and she goes, yeah, and you're not going to believe this, I got an extra 5% on cash rewards back. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I said, this is what Canna's always talking about. She goes, yeah, we just saved. And she told me how much it was, how much money had gone back into the account. And at first I thought it was witchcraft. I'm like, this is amazing. This thing is incredible. And then she kind of explained how much we had. And suddenly we've got our spending money for our weekend away. And I'm like,
how good's that?
Suddenly I am converted. So that's apparently what you need to do to actually make me take action is physically do it for me, and then I see the benefits. I'm sorry, Canna, I really have tortured you with this over a very long time.
The frustrating thing is you that start telling me about cash rewards. I'm like, Michael, I've been talking about this for like almost 2 years with you, and he's telling me some new insight.
It's pretty embarrassing. Anthony, how does it all work? Like when someone, like, let's use me as an example, what do I actually need to do to get signed up, and where do I do it? Is it via an app, via a website, bit of both?
Look, it's so simple. Cash Rewards is the place to get cash back when you shop online, and to join up, it's free. Simply download our app, start at cashrewards.com.au, and then shop as you ordinarily would with your favourite brands and stores.
And so if you download it, you then just kind of put your details in, you're just signing up as you normally would, and then you're creating a profile on there, and then you're using that. Maybe I'll need you both to explain to me then kind of how I then go from, because Canna, you're just kind of itching to jump in as well, aren't you? And just kind of tell me about how you do this. But you signing up's the easy part, and then actually then paying for items using cash rewards. Can we go through a few of the common kind of groups? Groceries, for instance. How do you use it for groceries?
Yeah, look, as I mentioned, once you've started your shopping journey with Cash Rewards, you can go to places like HelloFresh and New Foods. And at the moment, we've got 50% cash back for members at each of those grocery retailers. And for me and my wife, we've got 2 teenage boys. Life is quite chaotic. And what those retailers do for us is by delivering food, knowing that you're getting a great deal up front, but delivering food, it just makes life easier. And when we're cooking, meals together at home, we know that not only have we made our lives a little bit more convenient, but we've also saved money in the process with the cashback via Cash Rewards.
It actually makes food taste better. No, definitely. Knowing that you've saved money as you're making it.
I have to ask you though, I would say I'm a bit of an expert in this field. I feel like I really use Cash Rewards in every opportunity. But Michael asked me something and I was a bit dumbfounded. How do you use Cash Rewards for getting cash back on fuel?
Well, fuel's a new one for us, and we've just launched 2 great gift cards, so Ampol and BP. So again, if you buy gift cards with Cash Rewards, you're getting cash back at both of those retailers. And what I love most about both of them is you can also stack the cash back that you're getting on the gift cards with perhaps their loyalty propositions. So I love getting my everyday rewards points plus using my 4-cent shopper docket when I shop at Ampol, and I've also got cash back on the gift card that I've paid with. So it's a brilliant way. We call it the cashback stack, and it's just a great way to know that you're getting a brilliant deal on one of those everyday purchases.
Cashback stack sounds great. Sounds a lot better than triple dipping, kind of, doesn't it? But it's kind of what you're doing. It's like tripling your savings.
And you can use the shopper docket, and then you could, especially with BP, and then potentially even get some Qantas frequent flyer points along the way.
That's it. BP rewards your Qantas frequent flyer points on top.
We're clipping our ticket everywhere here.
What I like about that, and what I like about the idea of doing it for fuel, but doing it through cards for it, it just means you can do it at your leisure. Then you can kind of pay for this kind of in advance. You're doing it at home at night, and then you just know that next time you're ready to get fuel, you've already saved the money.
That's right.
It actually kind of takes a lot of the pressure off.
And by planning your purchase in advance, you know that you can shop around and see where the best price might be. And by having that gift card pre-purchased with your cashback looming, you can get the best deal.
I want to ask you about a couple of other kind of ones like utilities and things as to how they work. But I just actually probably need to rewind slightly. And when you are talking about kind of getting cash back from this, we're actually talking about actual cash. I know that sounds kind of silly, but I mean, it's not just like discounts and things. You are actually getting money back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
So it's called cash rewards. They reward you with cash.
I know, but my job here is to ask the obvious questions. And as the person who ignored your kind of insistence that I should be giving this a go for so long, I think if you had just said to me, that you just get cash back in your account, then I probably would have done it earlier. I think we both know I wouldn't have done it any earlier.
You're way too stubborn.
I am very, very stubborn. So it is cash that goes back into an account that is linked to Cash Rewards.
That's right. You simply link your bank account to Cash Rewards. Once you've shopped online at your favourite brand, we put that cash back into your account, which you can withdraw into your personal bank account and use any way that you like.
You could even link it to a PayPal account.
That's exactly right. You can withdraw to a PayPal account and use those funds however you like to.
Christmas shopping.
I'm going to be a real novice here. And how does that work? Oh, God, I'm going to make myself sound like I'm about 90 years old. Don't look at me like that, Canna. I've never really understood how PayPal works. Again,
oh, dear God.
So how do you use then Cash Rewards for that? So you can...
Would you like to have the honour?
It's like you two are just going, oh my God, who's going to explain it to this guy? Look, I'm sorry.
It's just so simple as well. It's an opportunity for our members to link their account to their PayPal account and then withdraw the cashback that they're receiving through Cash Rewards into their PayPal account. And again, they can do anything they like with it from there.
And then you can use that next time you are buying anything anywhere using PayPal. And it's essentially just kind of prepaid money.
It's not prepaid, it's paid to you.
Yeah, I know, but like when you're using if it's sitting in your PayPal.
Oh my God, sorry. What am I going to do with you? But on that note of shopping anywhere, Amazon is on Cash Rewards.
Oh, really?
And I know you have a sweet spot for Amazon.
I certainly do. Yeah. So if we kind of keep working our way through our list of kind of things that you like, fuel is a big one. That is pretty exciting that you can do kind of BP and Ampol cards. What about utilities?
Utilities is
gas bill and your power and all that kind of thing.
That's right. We know with the cost of living pressure, Australians are really looking for ways to make the household budget go further, and utilities is such a big part of their household spend. So what we do at Cash Rewards is we work with some of the biggest utility players, so across gas and electricity, broadband, mobile, and simply by starting your shopping journey with Cash Rewards and going across and comparing to those utility providers, we're regularly seeing our members save upward of $200 when they switch their gas and electricity providers.
And you quite often have bonuses as well. Who's the person that stalks the websites for good deals?
Do you know how people... like have a default homepage that if you open up on your on your browser, it goes to Google or Bing or something like that. I would be prepared to bet that if I opened a browser on your computer at home, it goes directly to Cash Rewards. Would I be right?
Possibly.
Yeah, well, no, I'm right. And so then broadband and mobile and all of those kinds of things. I think what I'm starting to get is a picture of the breadth of items and retailers and providers and things that you can actually purchase through Cash Rewards. That's right. And County, you mentioned earlier that you just feel like more Australians should be using Cash Rewards to get more value for their everyday shopping. And it's absolutely spot on. We've got over 2,000 brands on our platform. And so across as many categories that you can think of from an everyday spend perspective, our biggest category is actually travel. So what we're seeing at the moment is really savvy Australians are using Cash Rewards to save money on their shopping on, things like utilities and mobile phones and, groceries and fuel. And then that's enabling them to still have that big family holiday. And as an example, I recently, I've had a dream to go to Japan, and I've recently booked the trip of a lifetime to take my family to Japan next year. And by starting my journey with Cash Rewards and using booking.com and trip.com and all of those great brands that we've got on our platform, I'm getting over $1,000 cash back for starting my shopping journey with Cash Rewards. And that's going to pay for a couple of lift tickets for myself and my wife while we're over there snowboarding. So it's just such a great way to make your household budget go further. And speaking of household budgets, in the second part of this episode, I think, I'm a sucker for a good list. We're going to put together a list of the top 5 ways, the top 5 tips for making the household budget go a little bit further. I'm looking forward to that. Travel is a big one because those are big ticket items, and so I think you said before, it's a no-brainer. Surely that's a no-brainer. If you're buying a big ticket item, if you're buying kind of a travel package, whether it's flights or hotels or something like that, and if you have the capacity to do that and get money back, actual money, I don't know why I keep focusing on that point, but it is actual money back, why wouldn't you?
Also, I'm thinking for people who have to travel for work and they have the process within their company is to use their own corporate card and book their own accommodation and flights, they could also go through cash rewards, even though they're not using technically their own money. It's a company trip. They could clip their tickets there. They don't even necessarily need to be doing it for personal purposes.
Spot on. A couple of our closest friends actually own their own business. I know that's a little bit different to the situation you described, but, by starting their journey with cash rewards, what they're finding is they're saving more money on their business expenses. They travel quite a lot. And so by using Booking.com and Expedia and the likes, they're getting extra cash back into their pocket to use personally to make their household budget go further.
And that cash back is tax-free.
Spot on.
Oh, wow. God, I'm learning some stuff here today. I love the fact, though, that whenever you say something like that, the way you look at me has changed, Canna. You now actually look at me just to make sure I have actually understood what you've said. I feel like I have, like with my admissions about, well, everything I've admitted so far this episode, I feel like you have lost a small amount of respect for me.
Faith, I'd say, not respect.
Oh, cheers. Thank you. That's an important distinction. What about clothing? Probably clothing and, say, electronics and things are the ones that I understand most because they are things that we would ordinarily be buying online anyway.
That's right. And I mentioned earlier I've got 2 teenage boys. So for us, back to school time is a really expensive time of the year. So the ability to get cash back when you're buying clothing or shoes is a really valuable contributor at a time where the household budget is under a bit of pressure post-Christmas. So, for us, as our boys were starting school again and, perhaps enrolling in new sports, the ability to purchase shoes at places like Rebel.com or Nike or Adidas and get extra cash back when you're buying, the kids' new footy boots or new basketball shoes, it's just a no-brainer.
Now, you mentioned you recently got back $1,000 for this upcoming trip to Japan. What is the average amount that, a typical loyal cash rewards user gets back per annum?
Our more engaged members are getting an average of $400 cash back every year. And on an average transaction, our members are receiving about $13 of cash back on everything from, as we mentioned, their utilities through to their groceries, fuel, travel, technology, really on every facet of their everyday spend.
That is fascinating because if you look at the average Australian home loan, it's around about $650,000 on average across Australia, and you take an average interest rate of 6.5%, assuming maybe this person has just bought the home loan, so they've just commenced a 30-year term. If they were to put that $400 per year on their home loan, they would save just over $21,000 in interest and pay their home loan off 8 months sooner.
Wow.
So that $400 is really going places for people.
Anthony, confession time here. Canna got very excited before you came into the studio and she wouldn't talk to us before we started this show because she was just sitting there going, I've got a great idea. I'm going to work this out. And she's just been sitting there with a calculator going, oh, these numbers are sexy. You do not know how excited this made her to do this. And she's just been sitting on them, just kind of jumping out of her seat, waiting to bust those numbers out and demonstrate the power of kind of cash rewards.
There was another point I wanted to add, but I thought I should pipe down because I'm probably getting a little bit overexcited here, but I will now add it anyway. The Iconic. The Iconic obviously has a wide range of clothes, but you not only are like the Iconic is on the Cash Rewards platform, but you also quite often have specials where, for a weekend you'll increase the Cash Rewards, percentage that you get back up to say 10% for the weekend, which is also brilliant because that's another fantastic retailer that a lot of Australians love, but they actually can potentially get back even more than the normal, running average that you have at the time.
That's right. And I mentioned, the cashback stack earlier. When those great retailers like the Iconic are having a sale on their products, the Cash Rewards cashback is stackable with that already great deal on those retailer websites. So it's just such a great way of saving money and making the household budget go further. I
saw a bit of a gleam in your eyes when Canna started going through those figures. And I know that you are an accountant by training. And so I suspect you may have found kind of a kindred spirit here in this studio today.
I love hearing stories like that. Yes, confession, I am an accountant by trade. And so I live and breathe, how do I get the best deal and how do I make my money go further? And so it's really refreshing to meet people like you, Canna, and hear those types of stories. And, I mentioned that the average transaction has a member receiving $13 of cash back. Another way of looking at it is, that helps to pay for their streaming service for the month. So just by starting your shopping journey with Cash Rewards and thinking about how to be really savvy with your money, it just helps you buy those everyday essentials.
I'm seeing the makings of a very good list here. We might take a quick break and come back and put together our top 5 tips for making the household budget go further. Canna, we're talking about stretching the household budget further, and we are talking about doing it with Cash Rewards. We're joined in the studio today by Anthony Seymour Walsh, the CEO of Cash Rewards, which is a supporter of this podcast, and we've heard some fantastic stats about how much the average customer is kind of earning in cash rewards by buying through the platform. So I figured that I love a list. I just, like, anytime a news website promises like the top 5 of anything or the top 10 or anything, I'm just all over that. So I'm a bit addicted to lists. So we're putting together a list today, whether you like it or not. And the top 5 tips for making the household budget go further. I'm going to take a punt and say that number 1 on this list would be start your shop with Cash Rewards.
Well done, Michael. Yeah, download the app, start with cashrewards.com.au, and join over 2 million of our members who are getting cash back when they start their shopping journey with Cash Rewards.
When we say start your shop, what does that actually kind of look like? Is it a case of going in there and just having a bit of a look around and seeing which retailers are actually available through there? Because at least then you are kind of seeing, okay, I normally do actually spend money here, or I do actually kind of buy things through Rebel and things, and I can do that through Cash Rewards. That's what you mean by start your shop here. So make this the default place where you begin.
That's correct. There are 2,000 brands on our platform, so you can come and if you know what you want to buy, that's really easy, and you know who you want to buy it with, great. But in addition, one of the other tips that I've got is you can do some exploration when you come to Cash Rewards. And so with those 2,000 merchants across a variety of categories, you might find a merchant that may have a better product or a better deal, and you have the opportunity to save yourself some money and get some cash back.
Next up, I would say, is you've got to make sure you have a wish list, because you don't want to be obviously using, Cash Rewards just for the excuse to go and buy things. You want to make sure that you have a list of what you actually need, but you also can build up a list for things potentially down the track, such as Christmas time or someone's birthday or booking a holiday, to remind yourself to come back to this, so that you're regularly checking in what specials come up, but also you're sticking to a list of, so you don't sort of get maybe distracted and go down a squanderless spending path.
That's right. It's very easy to be tempted by the constant flow of cashback deals, but making a list is so important. And, a couple of times of the year that I think are most important is we're going into end of financial year. There will be some amazing brands with great deals both on on their products, and Cash Rewards is going to have most of those big brands on our platform. And so by planning your purchase, knowing what you want to buy, and then coming to Cash Rewards to start your journey, it ensures that this end of financial year you'll be really well placed to get a great deal. And the other time of year for me that's really important is leading into Christmas. We obviously have the Black Friday event, and so by being really well planned around what you want to purchase for friends, family at Christmas time, and then starting your shopping journey with Cash Rewards at the Black Friday period, it gives you an opportunity to be really savvy with your purchasing. So, for example, last year, I wanted to get my boys really keen on reading, and I purchased each of them a Kindle, but I did so in the Black Friday period via Amazon and got an amazing amount of cash back. I got about $30 cash back on each, which just helped with what was an expensive time of year.
And it's amazing because the fact is, if you didn't do that through Cash Rewards, you would have still spent that same amount, but you just wouldn't have got $30 back. I know that seems really obvious, but it does kind of go back to that no-brainer kind of thing. If it's just worth checking just to see if you are going to get something back. And I like the idea of that being our number 2 thing about on our list, of making a list. Clearly, we've actually got a list on our list, so it's very meta, isn't it? But reducing that impulsive shopping, because we've talked a lot about the importance of mindful spending and actually kind of making sure that you're getting value for money and just buying the things that you need. And if you go into this kind of with a list and with some very clear goals of what you're looking for, then that's going to help with that. Number 3, you kind of mentioned this one in passing, before, Anthony, when you talked about kind of considering new brands, perhaps ones that you haven't used before, but because they've got, because they are available through Cash Rewards and may have
Like a special offer.
Yeah, significant savings on offer, that do some research and consider new brands rather than just going back to what you've always done.
That's exactly right. And there are new brands coming into market regularly, and as those new brands come online, what you can do is come and see whether you get an additional cashback boost by shopping with those new brands.
Yep.
And using Cash Rewards as an engine to really see what might be out there and where might you be able to save some dollars by receiving cashback when you shop.
Yeah, makes sense.
Can you talk us through the notifications, the extension browser, and how that can it can notify you that if you do buy something on this website, you could potentially collect some money with Cash Rewards? Can you explain that? Because I think that's a really powerful tool to prompt you and remind you, because it's obviously we're all so busy and time poor, we can forget, oh, that's right, damn, it's not until it's too late. You go, why didn't I shop by Cash Rewards?
Look, one of the things that our members tell us is they sometimes forget. And so a way to offset that is by downloading the Cash Rewards browser extension, and it'll follow you around and ensure that if you're shopping somewhere that has cashback available, that you're reminded at the point where you're about to purchase to shop with Cash Rewards and get cash back. So it'll automatically prompt you at checkout, and you'll be able to add cash back to your shopping cart.
That feels like that's been designed for me. Like that's just kind of perfectly
Quite
targeted. that is actually outstanding. And what notifications as well work in terms of letting you know when there's bonus kind of cashback available, special features running for a weekend, that kind of thing.
That's exactly right. It'll pop up and tell you, this website has 10% cashback with Cash Rewards, and it'll show that you've activated that and that you're eligible to get that cash back after you've shopped. So it's such a handy tool for customers who are time poor, who are looking for convenience, just to be that it's that friend following you around online, making sure that you get the best deal.
And your newsletter is also brilliant as well.
Make sure you got your notifications turned on so that you're getting notifications via our Cash Rewards app, but also enrolled into our email send. So we're sending deals out almost every day. And at the moment, we're really excited actually. At the moment, in May, we're turning 10. So we've kicked off our 10th birthday celebrations. We were the first cashback player in Australia. And in that time, we've given over $165 million in cashback to Australians. Wow. And so by being notified that there is great cashback offers at your favourite brands and retailers, it's just a no-brainer to have those notifications reminding you to shop with us.
That's why the Cash Rewards website is always open on my homepage.
I feel a bit silly now for not having gotten on board earlier. Like 10 years.
So you should.
Yeah.
At least 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's a good point. So that was number 4, is use notifications. Number 5, stack your savings. We talked about this before the break, the importance of stacking your savings and the sales and the cashback, and in the end you can kind of triple stack. A cashback stack, I think, I love that. Sounds good.
That's right. We call it the cashback stack. And for me, I mentioned I'm an accountant, so I love to get a deal. And the way that I think about it is by starting your shopping journey with Cash Rewards, you get cash back when you shop online. Mm-hmm. Those retailers and brands may have a deal live on their website. Often you can get loyalty points. So in the case of airlines, for example, we've got a great relationship with Virgin. If you start your journey with Cash Rewards and book a flight with Virgin, you also get the velocity points on top. And then most customers will have a credit card, a points earning credit card, which you can stack as well. So there's a 4-way stack example there, simply by using Cash Rewards on top of those other mechanics.
It actually feels like you could get quite competitive with this and going, you got a 4-way stack, I'm going for 5, and try and figure out another way to add more savings and more kind of earning rewards onto that. What's the most stack you've ever seen? 4 or 5 would have to be about it. I can't imagine you could get much higher.
It is a bit harder to go higher than that, but yeah, probably 4 or 5 is about the average.
Challenge accepted. I'm going to find a way. I'm going for the legendary 6 stack.
Make Cash Rewards your homepage.
Okay, all right, that'll do it. That's a good list. Our top 5. So that was number 1, start your shop with Cash Rewards. Number 2, make a wish list, reduce impulsive shopping. Number 3, research, consider new brands. Don't just go for what you've always gone for. Look at what is available, and you may actually find that one of them is going to offer you a whole lot better deal than the one you normally go with. Number 4, use notifications and the newsletter as well. And number 5, stack your savings, the sales and the cashback and the additional rewards points and all of those things, and help me work my way towards the 6 stack, which I'm sure is possible. I think we've covered this pretty well. I know that
you're preaching to the converted.
Yeah, I know. You have just been kind of just glowing with excitement all day about this.
Natural cash rewards cheerleader.
Yes, you certainly are a very, very, very enthusiastic advocate for cash rewards. Anthony, this has been terrific. There is one last thing that we have to ask of you, and I feel bad actually springing this on you without actually telling you I was going to do this, but whenever we have a guest in the studio, it becomes the guest's job to supply our savings tip or our savings hack of the week. There could actually be an argument made that everything that you've done today has actually been one giant savings hack or savings tip. Would you like to kind of take that avenue and just refer back to everything I've said over the last half hour as the savings tip?
I think so. Look, I'm going to be a bit cheeky and add a couple. I think the most important thing is don't buy things that you don't need.
Yep.
And so the beauty of cash rewards is, with such breadth and so many great brands, there is something for everybody on their everyday spend. And I'll give you an example that I recently had. I needed to buy tyres for my car. I jumped onto cash rewards. I wasn't clear where I was going to purchase those tyres. And we've got a partner called Mobile Tyre Shop. They came to my home. They fitted tyres to my car. Cost me about $600 and I got $30 cash back, and I didn't have to leave my home. Just such a great experience and a great deal.
I got a flat tyre the other day, and I actually had to get 2 tyres replaced. Oh my gosh, I missed out.
And you didn't use cash rewards,
I
did you?
didn't even know about this. Oh my gosh. I got so much money back. Oh, damn.
I shouldn't be smiling at your distress here, but you
can't help it.
You have been very smug about how long you've been using cash rewards for.
Damn.
That's a good one. I like that.
There's always something new.
Yeah. So don't buy what you don't need, and just check as well. Just check to see what's there.
Absolutely. Always come to cash rewards and start your shopping journey with us.
Makes perfect sense. All right. That is fascinating. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
That was Anthony Seymour Walsh, CEO of Cash Rewards, which is, of course, a supporter of this podcast. Canna, once you have recovered from the shame of having missed out on earning some additional cash back,
regret,
can you tell us where we can find you?
Instagram, Sugar Mama, TV, all crying down the bottom of the garden eating worms.
I don't think I've ever seen you as deflated as you are right now. You know what? Cheer yourself up. Head on to Cash Rewards and see what you can find. And you can hear me every day with Sean Aylmer on Fear and Greed, Australia's best business podcast. Thank you very much for listening to How Do They Afford That, this special episode. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And the best thing you can do to help us out is actually to tell somebody else. Spread the word about How Do They Afford That. Thanks for your company.